Ooh, hello guys. Today I'm going to show you how I set up this project in Photoshop to work sort of in Character Animator. I've learned a few things and I'll show you how I broke down this face. I think I have it working mostly pretty well from the frontal position. I have some eye motions, blinks, and I think I have the lip syncs mostly set up. So here we go. Let's jump in. Okay, so here's my project, and the basics are in another video that I'll link right here. And this structure is based on one character in a folder. So I have the plus character, and then inside of that I have 3 folders. To start with, I have the body, which is going to be pretty much stationary, and that is just one layer that I cut out. And then I have the back of that, which is like the back of this, the hood. So you can see when together it makes an invisible mannequin. And then inside of that I have head. So let's dive into head because that's the most complicated layer. Within that I have plus face, and that makes it so my face is going to be independently driven and will not affect all the clothing around it. And let me get rid of some of these to start with. I have my face background, which is just something that lives under the surface, and mine includes the neck because I just wanted it to be more simple. However, you would separate a neck and a head if you needed those to be kind of moving a little more independently or more naturally, but mine don't. The next layer is the mouth layer, and that sits on top, and it's basically all of the positions of the mouth. So I have let's just start at the top here. I have neutral, and then I have smile, surprised, and all of these. And how I set them up was I went up to view rulers right there, and then I pulled down a guide for the eyes, and I pulled out horizontal guides as well to give me the exact location. So that helped me to scale things correctly, although my initial photos I took were pretty accurate. I didn't move a whole lot. But again, I wanted to include all of that like facial light and shadow stuff that happened, so you can see that my eyes more or less stay in the same place. And that's important because of the eye blinks that'll happen. So let me clear those guides, and let's see, clear guides. Turn these back on, and okay, so that's the mouth there. Yeah, I have, let me turn this off for a second just to show you. So we have right eye base. What that is, if I zoom in closely, is all the area around the eye, and I just called it right eye base with no space in there. So if you name something with eye, it'll mess up the code, so you have to all have one line of title for this one. And then above that I have this is right eyeball, and this one's tricky because it's set to 1%, and if I crank it up you can see that's the area. So let me just recolor this one really quick for you, just so you can see why I made this the way it is. When I turn on the next layer up, which is the pupil, and I made sure that the pupil is independent by having plus right pupil on there. The pupil can only move around within this area here. So that when I turn that eyeball down all the way to 1%, I'll just type it in there. It's not visible, but it will still only move within that area. And I'll show you that in a minute inside of Character Animator. So that's what makes up the whole eye. And how I did that was just by going to one of these layers. I picked, I think I picked neutral or one of these, and I just lassoed out. I copied, and then I paste in place, and then I moved it up to its own layer. Okay, so that is all right and left eye. Remember, in Character Animator, what's on your screen left is its right. So left eye is the same thing. And let me turn off again the mouth so you can see that. So this is the left eye. And then inside of these are the blink images. And if I turn these on, these are just the same thing. I just kind of repainted over them. And I don't know, someone on the internet said to separate those. So I separated the blinks from the eye. So you can see I have right eye, and then I have right eye plus, and again or plus right eye, that is the pupil, the eyeball, and the base. The eyeball is set to 1%. And yeah, the rest of these are turned on. So then I also did the same thing for eyebrows here, and just cut and paste those, and those are having a plus in front of them because I want them to move independently as well. And so let me turn on mouth and everything. I'm going to turn on right eye, turn off right eye, blink here, and then save the file. So back over here in Character Animator, you can see that it blinks and it follows my my eyebrows, and I can change all of those over here, so I can give different strengths to different things. And let's see, eye gaze, I turned the camera strength down, mainly because I just didn't want the eyes getting crossed and going too crazy. I don't want them moving around a whole lot. So I just lowered that strength. Within the face layer, let's see, I went in and I changed the head strength, the head tilt strength. You know, if you crank that up, you could see, ooh, it doesn't really work. So I had to go down because in this really just very simple, straightforward position, I don't want a whole lot of head tilt. I don't want it to go past the edge and start to look like my head doesn't exist inside of that sweatshirt. Same thing for eyebrow strength, and I even did, what did I say, eyelid. So I actually didn't mess with eyelids because that's another type of blink that I'll do later, and I'll show you. I think that's pretty much it. Lip sync is as it is, and then there was this one replacement here that we're not going to mess with. Yeah, blink eyes together. So you could, you know, get them to blink independently. But it gets a little glitchy, I noticed. And you can see that my eyes kind of offset and then reset. And that's back in eye gaze. We have snap eye gaze turned on. And that's going to reset it. And you can have it reset, you know, more frequently, like 0.5 or something. And it will go from being kind of kooky to looking straightforward again. Very straightforward. Okay, so then the rig. We're in here. So this file structure looks the same as Photoshop. And let me twirl everything back up. Anything that had a plus sign over in Photoshop has a crown next to it. You've probably seen that. And again, let's go item for item here. So, by the way, if anything is inside of a folder, it is going to be driven by that thing. So I did have to add these fixed points. And let's see. By the way, if you're zooming in and out, Alt is to zoom out. And click there is to zoom in. Okay, so I had to add these fixed points all around here. And then I did have to move the body anchor point, which is right here, and I had to move that to about the center, roughly, of the artwork. Okay, that one was straightforward, and I did the same thing for the back. I just added these fixed anchor points, and those are just using this pin right here. And so you can just pin to those areas. Make sure that you're not selected on character when you do this, because it will mess everything up. So be on the actual body layers, and then I go into head here, and let's see. Click on face. You can see nothing really major happens with the exception of this thing, and that's the anchor point, and it has to overlap with the body, right? And that's why we want it to pivot from this point, and it has a designation of head right here, and that's in my warnings, by the way. These are down here. It's saying that it's not actually attributed to anything. So it's not being used in any behavior, so it's not necessary for it to be there. It just needs to light up and overlap with your body. So that's fine. Let's go back in here, face. So then we go down eyebrows. They should automatically be tagged with the eyebrow designation. So if I zoom in a little bit further, you'll see eyebrow is tagged there. So I have right eyebrow, and then over here on the right, you can either do like select it by region here, or just use the tags here, but you shouldn't have to do that. Same thing for left and right eyebrow. Right eye should just have the right eye tag, and the left eye be the same. These are the blinks, right? So if we go inside of that, you can see that that is the size of the actual artwork, and that has the right blink designation, and that's how it knows to blink, which is kind of crazy that it knows how to do that. Okay, inside of the actual eye itself, this one should say left eye only, and it should show basically all of the stuff that's within this layer. And then there's the pupil, and that's going to have inside of it the pupil layer, and that's different. In Photoshop, it won't look like that, even though you've made it to just be pupil plus on the surface. Character Animator is going to come over here and kind of make an independent folder and put this thing inside of it. So the one on top should have the pupil designation or whatever the tag, and then the one under it should not. So you don't want to have a pupil tag on both of these. If it's there, then just delete it. And then let's go back. The eyeball, that is this is the background. That's just that artwork that's there. And the eyeball, you can see that's that shape that I recolored earlier, and this is 1% opacity, but that makes it so the pupil can only move around in this region. Okay, so let's go to mouth here, and then zoom out. And okay, and so the mouth, again, the anchor points, usually they start off in some weird place, and then you can also see that I had some extra pixels left over on my artwork, so I have to go back and probably delete those later. But at any rate, the anchor point right here should overlap the head. That's that weird shape that's behind it, and if I did it right, it should light up green. And it should just say mouth, because that's the name of it. It's the mouth layer right here. And inside of this, these are just going to have the tags for their individual letters, which are over here. Once in a while, one of these will go offline, and you'll have to say, no, the A is for the A sound, the A phoneme or visnine. And that should be it. So now if I go back over to record, hopefully I didn't foul anything up too much, and it looks like it's working. I got some action here on the head, but I've slowed it down enough where I'm not actually moving around a whole lot. And anyway, that's how you set up Photoshop for Character Animator the best way I know how right now. I'm going to show you more stuff as I learn it, and hopefully this is helpful. Good luck.